Hey guys, this is MugenLord here, and I just got finished watching the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Focus Nintendo Direct, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I was already excited for this game, but after seeing the Direct, July can't get here fast enough. I need to get my hands on this game. So in this video, I just want to just give you my overall thoughts of what I thought about what they have revealed at this Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Focus Direct. So I'm gonna dive right into it. Now, earlier within the year, Nintendo had pretty much gave us a teaser trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which had the community going ballistic. Everybody went into speculation mode, to speculate what the story could possibly be. And in this direct, they pretty much gave us the answers that we were pretty much looking for as far as the story and how the overall gameplay experience is going to be. And I'm going to tell you right now, this game is going to be content filled and content heavy, no different than Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, but it seemed like they stepped things up an extra notch, which means that I want to be on this game for a really long time, and that's not even a bad thing. But let's dive into what they showed a little bit about the story and what most of us were speculating. For starters, everybody was speculating that in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that this game is combining and merging both universes of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. And I still believe that's the case. They already gave us hints in this direct showing that the Kevis and the Agnes are both going to war with one another, and you can tell by the clothing and the technology that the Kevis is representing the Xenoblade Chronicles 1 side and the Agnes is representing the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 side. We already have that under speculation as it is. Now, what they did answer as far as the story is concerned, what everybody was speculating, was what the Aura Borrels was about, what this war entails, and about the lifespan of these characters. And in the trailer, or in this direct, they explained that the moment that they're born, they enlist in the war with their nations. They enlist to fight for their nation. Now, the moment they enlist and begin the war with the other nation, the enlist soldiers have a 10-year lifespan. Now, that is not a long life at all. Now, what really gets me is does the 10-year lifespan start the moment they enlist, or it starts the moment they are born? That's the thing that Nintendo probably want to keep, and Monolith Soft want to keep away from us until we actually play the game. But essentially, everyone has a 10-year lifespan, and once they complete and fulfill their 10-year lifespan by defeating the soldiers or the opposing nation, it fills up the flame clock of that nation. And once it's all said and done, the reward is up for your death is that there will be a passing ceremony, which everybody looks forward to. And they said it's the highest honor that you can get is when the maiden of whatever nation that you're part of, and everybody gathers around to celebrate your passing, celebrate your death. Now that already sounds dark as hell as it is, and that's why I love the Xeno series. I've been playing the Xeno series since Xenogears. Been a big fan of Xenogears, and Xenogears, or the Xeno series, is very religious in tone. It's always been that way, and it's always a dark twist behind the religious undertone. And the fact is that people is going to have a celebration of the passing that you give your life away after the 10 years. I can't wait to see where this twist is going and why the ceremony and any of this came to be in the first place. So that's what I'm definitely looking forward to. There's much more behind this. Now, also, there were some more answers. Now, you have 3 party members that represent the Kevis side, and then you have the other 3 party members that represent the Agnes side. And in the game, and when the game first starts, the 6 party members are actually at war with each other, and then a particular familiar face comes in, or so we believe, come in and stop the party members from fighting each other and explain that there's a much bigger threat at hand here, which we already speculated anyway, because in order for the party to come together, there had to be a reason behind it. And yes, there's a much bigger threat than what we actually know. Now, the thing is, what I also noticed about this game and what they're showing off in the story bits is that there's these armored-like characters that appeared at the very beginning. And these armors kind of remind me of one of the characters in Xenogears known as Wargraph. Wargraph wore this demonic or religious-looking armor, and it's pretty much almost the same color. It has that crimson color. So I'm wondering where this is going to go, and it seems like there's a council of them, and I believe that this council of these people right here are actually the main bad. And it seemed like from what they're showing off from the Nintendo Direct is that both nations are pretty much opposite sides of the same coin. They're all fighting for the same overlord in a way. So this is more like of an investigation to find out who's behind all this. So both sides are now, as far as your party members, are coming together, and now they're pretty much enemy number one to both nations. So both the nations are after y'all, while you guys are trying to investigate who's the real corporate behind all this. So I'm excited to see how all this unravel, because when it comes to Xenoblade, they always hit you with this misdirection. Like, at 1 minute you think the story's about this, and then the story, in a good way, goes completely left field and just catch you off guard and by surprise. So I can't wait to see how this all flip, and I want to know if any elements or any characters from both Xenoblade 1 and 2 make an appearance, or even in a flashback. So I'm excited about that. Now, as far as exploration is concerned, it seemed like that the world is even more massive than ever before. And Monolith Soft always tout the fact is that, we make open worlds. And we make these open worlds as massive as possible. We create these ecosystems where these monsters inhabit to make it feel more lifelike. And I always appreciate that. And there's always something to do in these open worlds that Monolith Soft have with these Xenoblade games. And what I do appreciate about it is you're always rewarded for your exploration as far as questing is concerned. And that's another thing. When you quest within this game, there's a feature to where you go to campfires, and when you go to the campfires, you talk to your party members, and when you talk to your party members, you gather information from the NPCs that you talk to within towns, outposts, and everything. And this is what I found out, or what I find interesting, is now they're making NPCs even more useful, because in order for you to get quests, you actually have to talk to almost every NPC that you run into, so you can go back to the campfire, discuss with your party members in order to unlock new quests, and then you embark on those quests. And every quest, and what Microsoft always makes sure to do is to make sure each quest make you travel to a certain section of the world, so you can explore that world. So it encourages exploration, and then you also get markers, and I guess you could say markers to whatever new lands and new areas that you visit to create quick points, which is also good. And another feature that I like, and I'm glad they added this, is now that you can actually create a path on the map to get to the locations that you want to go to, and those lines and those markers will appear in real time for you, so you won't ever have to get lost. Because that was the other thing that I didn't really like about the previous Xenoblade games. It's easy to get lost because of how massive the world is, and every time you're trying to find your quest, the maps itself has multiple layers, because you either have the upper layer of the map if you way up in the mountains, and then you have the mid layer, then you have the bottom layer when you're near water. So it's kind of hard to tell what layer that the quest marker is on. And the fact is that you can actually outline your path. It makes it a lot easier to get to the locations that you're looking for, and I really appreciate that. And of course, they brought the cooking mechanic, which was something that was really they put emphasis on also in Torna. It seemed like they brought that back as well. And then they brought the gem system back. Now, the gem system was something similar found in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and that's why it further hints that there's going to be elements from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and also Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And we're going to get into what the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 mechanics could possibly be, and how it's represented in this trailer itself, because it feels though that this combat is going to be even more freeform than ever before, as far as setting up your party members. And what I said in previous videos about my JRPGs, I love the fact is that this time all your party members are going to be on the field. There's no swapping out and putting your inactive party members on a waiting list. No, all your party members are out on the field at once, so everybody's gonna be able to play a role, which I definitely like. And what I like about this combat system too, as well, is even more interactive compared to the first and the second game. And they brought in once again the topple system, where you have smash, you have topple, and you can be able to uppercut your enemy in the air. So you'll be able to combine the different properties of attacks depending on what the enemy is weak against in order to pretty much take advantage of that. And also, because you have these multiple party members, it also invokes a class system. And you know me and my JRPGs, I love my class system. The class system is so dope. It's because you're able to now create and be unique as far as your playing experience is concerned. That means everybody will have a unique play style depending on the player, and that's the fun part about the class system. So you're able to essentially take your class of whatever character that you have, and you're able to swap those classes onto your other party members, which is also a dope thing. And then you could be able to borrow traits from those classes and add it to your main class that you use for that character, which is also awesome. So there's going to be a lot of combinations that you could be able to come up with. And then not only that, the system that I believe that they're borrowed from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is called the hero system. Now there's 6 party members in total that you can pretty much be able to swap during combat and everything as you're playing the game. But there's an extra slot left open for a 7th party member called the hero. And now these heroes is essentially characters that you're going to run across in the game. Now the thing is, these characters will not be controllable. These characters are like guest characters or whatever. Now the good thing about it is, I was saying to myself, when you're able to switch your classes, I said, what is the benefit of switching to a class that your characters already have? Why can't I just keep that character and just keep the class that they're already in? Because you already have a balanced, party or whatever like that. Why did I need to borrow another class from a character if that character's already good at that class? The hero system changes all that. The hero system reminds me of the blade system found in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's because with the hero system, as you encounter more heroes within the game, every hero has their own distinct class, which is epic, which means that it incentivizes you to actually explore and traverse the world, do quests, because you don't know what hero that you could potentially run across, to be able to add them to your party. And not just add them to your party, you're able to unlock their class. So that means there's more classes besides the current classes that your party members have by default. So it's going to get ridiculous with the amount of combinations that you can possibly have with the combat system. And that's what I love about Xenoblade Chronicles, and that's what I love about games that have a class system, because there's so much you can just drag out of this. And then that's not it. It's not even over yet. You also have combination attacks that you can combine your attacks with your party members. And then on top of that, with the different classes, that also adds more layer and depth and with the combination of attacks. So we're going to dive into another mechanic that they add called the Borrels. The Borrels is pretty much a fusion between 2 characters that come together to form another living, breathing entity that's a character of its own. Now, I know it can be it's a little like really weird how a man and a woman come together, and and when they transform into Borrels, is a female or whatever like that, or it could be a male. Now, from the earlier trailer, a lot of people just thought that, hey, these are just the Borrels that's locked to these particular characters. Now we're finding out is that the Borrels actually have multiple forms. It seems like there's going to be a male and female version within the same combination of characters. So if you can get Mio and then Noah or whatever, which is they have a male Borrels, you can switch to the female version. Now the female version is the Mio version of the Borrels. So whoever is the leader of that within that Borrels, they the ones that take control over that Borrels. So there's more combinations with that. And then once you have the Borrels can have combination abilities learned by teaming up with the other party members who aren't Borrels. So there's combinations with the characters in the Borrels themselves. This is ridiculous in a good way. That means there's so many combinations that you really have to take into account when performing all these different type of attacks, all these different type of gameplay mechanics. There's so much involved with this, and that means there's going to be a lot to break down, especially for Xenoblade content creators. They have a lot to break down, and then they have skill trees for the Borrels that you have to use your skill points to be able to unlock different abilities. So there's so much you have to chow down with this, and I'm definitely looking forward to this, man. So that's pretty much my essential thoughts of how I feel about all this when it comes to Xenoblade Chronicles. 3, man. Like, they really got me hyped, and I'm glad. At first, I was kind of worried that it was giving away too much as far as the story is concerned, but no, they gave us enough for us content creators, and more specifically the Xenoblade content creators, to actually dissect even more. And I'm looking forward to what Luxon and a few other content creators within the Xenoblade community have to say about the stuff that's just revealed. I'm looking forward to it already. Even after I finish this video, I'm already going to be diving on to see what other content creators have to say, more specifically the Xenoblade content creators have to say, and what they found within what they're showing off. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts. Have you checked out the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Nintendo Direct? And I was going to just ask this, like, are you even looking forward to this? Have you even played a Xenoblade game? I definitely want to hear your thoughts and opinion, because I know there's a lot of people who still have yet to actually try out Xenoblade, and there's still people that really have a disdain for the series, because, you know, they feel as though that this series get more of a spotlight than other Nintendo IPs. But we'll get into that to another video. But I want to hear your thoughts. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because it definitely helps you out in the algorithm. And guys, I'm like pretty much like 5 or maybe 6 subscribers from hitting 12K subscribers. So let's see you guys can get me up there. I really appreciate it. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Make sure you hit that bell to be notified for more JRPG news and video game news in general. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.